There is no particular way in which a day runs because every day will be different. There's always a different client to meet and they all have different needs. Some days will have lots of paperwork involved in it, naturally recording data and information, writing up assessments, but every client that we see will all have a different need. They will all have a different eyesight condition, and every eye condition will have a different outcome for that individual and how they react to that loss of sight. The whole process of rehabilitation is that we would find out what the individual's needs are by looking at the referral that's come in, find out a little bit about their eye condition, making contact with them, trying to book an appointment with them to go out and see them. So in Hertfordshire it means driving across the county, assessing that individual, talking to them on a one-to-one basis or with family members, bearing in mind that sometimes people have other disabilities as well, cognitive disabilities, so they might have a little bit of dementia, they could have a physical disability, so some support sometimes is necessary from family. There's some counselling involved as well sometimes, very often with people, and giving them reassurance, thinking about a specific person here who lost his sight only about 2.5 to 3 months ago. He lost the sight in one eye, started to recover, and then he lost the sight in both eyes. This was a huge shock to him because he doesn't really know why he's lost his sight at this particular point in time. He wants to know why, and he wants reassurance, and he wants somebody to talk to. We, as rehabilitation officers, need to be there to strengthen them. We need to be able to give them the confidence. We need to empower them, not to disable them. That empowerment is so important, and if we can't instill that in them as an individual, then basically we're wasting our time. So we'll be looking at their independent travel skills or mobility skills. Can they get out into the community? Can they even get around their own home? And some people can't do that. So we'll be looking at magnifiers and lighting. A lot of the magnifiers nowadays come with built-in light-emitting diode light sources, so we can increase what they can see, reducing frustration. Rehabilitation is not necessarily about very, very complicated and very expensive techniques or pieces of equipment. Very often it's about something nice and simple in order to help an individual to overcome the difficulty that they might be having. For going out and about into the community, it may be that some people just need to have confidence built into them. So in relation to travelling from their home to the local shop, it may be that they need to learn how to use a long cane. Now it looks simple, but there are some complexities within using it. And so we have to teach an individual how to use it and how to get the most out of that cane. It has to be measured for their height, and it also has to be measured for their gait. So as a person walks, what we're hoping is that the cane will actually touch that point on the floor where the foot will fall. Otherwise, if it doesn't do that, potentially they would walk into a bollard, or they would walk into a hole and then possibly fall. And that's something that we're trying to avoid. We'll be looking at whether an individual can cook a meal for themselves, or can they do something nice and simple like making a hot drink. There are different ways of making sure that an individual can do that. So how do we know which of those options do we take? A liquid level indicator is a nice clear way, and it provides input for people who have sight loss and also dual hearing loss. Again, looking at the cooker, can you tell what temperature the oven's at? Can you tell whether the knobs are on the 0 marker? And that's especially important if you have a gas cooker. Although it does make a sound when the gas comes through, it could well be that the gas sound is not loud enough because the person has a hearing loss.
So I see John's input to me is that his experience and his know-how is going to improve what I do.
I think it's really important that what we do for an individual is we give them an opportunity to have a success. If we can succeed at the beginning of the process of rehabilitation, then it makes the whole process a lot easier later on.